Two key members of the House on opposite sides of the immigration debate, Democrat Luis Gutierrez from the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, Republican Mark Meadows, chair of the Freedom Caucus. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you. Congressman Gutierrez, let me begin with you. You saw our poll showing that Americans more inclined to blame Republicans for the shutdown, but CNN also has a poll that says they think it's more important to avoid a shutdown, 56% versus continuing DACA, 34%. We put that poll up right now. Are you worried at all about Democrats overplaying their hand?
Yeah, let me start by saying this to you, George. Look, I think the wall is a monumental waste of taxpayers' money. And it's to build a monument to stupidity, and it's just idiotic. Having said that, if that's what it's going to take in order to put 800,000 young men and women in this country, dreamers, and put them in a safe place, and put them on a course to full integration in our society, if that's what the hostage takers of the dreamers, if that's their ransom call, I say pay it. And then,
Mexico was supposed to pay for the wall.
Next November, we'll deal with the kidnappers at the election, at the polls, and let's reopen the government. But, George, that's what the president said. He said, I want a wall. And as despicable as it is, as hurtful as it is, to people like me and others in this country, we are ready to sacrifice that so that dreamers can have freedom in this country.
$20 billion that Mexico was supposed to pay?
That's exactly the point. $20 billion. A president of the United States that said Mexicans are murderers, criminals, drug dealers, and we got to build a wall. We got to get rid of them. We got to build a wall. Because the conversation has always been about, well, you know, those Democrats, they're not into border security. All right, you want to build this monument to stupidity? You want to waste, and you insist upon wasting $20 billion? Then I say free to dreamers. They've taken them hostage, George. What am I supposed to do? I asked them to sign up. I filled out forms by the thousands with them. It is my responsibility today to put them in a safe place. But, George, it's really not. You know what this demonstrates to us? That it's really not about border security, right? Because the government should be open.
Right.
Because people like I and others in the Democratic Party, and I want to make clear, Dick Durbin offered them the money for the wall. Schumer offered the money for the wall. I wasn't the first one to come up with Democrats to say this,
Mark
but
Short,
I have been very clear about it.
Congressman, you heard Mark Short earlier in the program. He said that wasn't good enough, that they also needed changes in the chain migration, the lottery system. Are you willing to accept that in return for freeing the DACA hostages, as you put it?
Here's my point to you. What it reveals to us is the President of the United States has said, and he said this on numerous occasions, George, I want a wall, you get the dreamers. And now they move the goals, right? Here's what they're saying to us, George, and we have to be very clear about it, and we are going to fight this. They want to end legal immigration to the United States. They say, let's build a wall to keep us safe. They say, let's build a wall so that our workers don't have to compete with illegals that come across the. But then they end legal immigration. They say the lottery system, let's say, that's legal immigration to the United States. George, what they want is the following, and listen very carefully to what they're saying. When they say chain migration, which is something, just so that you know, offensive to me to use that word, right? Because it's really about family reunification. It's about a mom bringing their children, about children bringing their moms, about a husband and a wife. Those are the visas they're going after. Let's be absolutely clear. They want to end. What does my ability to bring my brother to the United States of America, what does the ability that I have to bring my children to this country, or my children to bring me, have to do with border security, have to do with keeping this country safe? They want to end legal immigration. And you know what, George? We have to fight that, because it's the essence of who we are as a nation. It's core to what it is to be American, to have an immigration policy. We would not be a nation without immigrants and an immigration policy, and we have to push back.
You were at the White House with General Kelly this week. Did he really say the president was uninformed on the wall?
Yes. Well, I had a meeting. I was sitting right next to him, next to Mr. Kelly, and here's what he said. He said, The President of the United States, when he was campaigning, made promises that were not fully informed. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. It was so astonishing to me that I immediately wrote it down. He said, was not fully informed. Is that uninformed? I heard the president was not fully informed. He said, I've educated the president, and the president has evolved on the issue. And when I asked General Kelly, what's a wall? He said, it could be the inhospitable terrain. It could be Border Patrol agents. It could be drones. That's why I'm saying, let's take it off the table.
Okay.
Let's take it off the table. The American public have heard this president say time and time again he wants a wall. And as repugnant as it is to me, and as idiotic as it is to me,